And how are we not like how are we not questioning it? Like that blows my mind.
I mean, let's think about it this way, especially if you're coming from a situation where like a man, like a physical man, has been given all of this power and like authority. And that's just how you've been raised, right? Whatever dad says goes. Mom also is over here abiding by whatever that person says. That's always just been the role that has been assigned to us, to children. And it's, I'm gonna factor this into kind of like looking at it as like weight loss. Like it, we didn't get here overnight. It just kept building and building, and people just imposing their thoughts and their views and making other people feel small. That's kind of like, that's how I see how we got here. Somebody else might have a different opinion about it, but people have assigned roles to certain genders, and that's just how everything has just been constructed and just kept like going. That's what I would say. Something difficult for a lot of people to unlearn at this point.
We've been disconnected. That's what I've been saying for fucking ever. Like overall, the man takes care of all of that stuff while the woman stays home. And I don't mean like she needs to stay home and cook and clean, but like it's part of it. It's part of it. Like I don't mean like this is a label we have to be. You can still be an entrepreneur, you can still have your business, but like there are still things that we need to do. And what happens is that like that has been like that. Our great parents were like that. But what happened? How did we get disconnected from that? And obviously society happened and movements have happened and things have changed and people want to go to work. Obviously it's normal. Evolution happens. It's normal. When you were saying part of like the man is given this power, yes, but the man needs the woman. They work together. That's how you get the community. That's how you get the foundation. That's how you get the structure. You need him and she needs you. Feminine energy, a woman energy is in the creative, is dancing, is flowing, is receiving energy. The man is giving, the woman is receiving the energy. And so that's how we balance each other out. Men are not creating that energy, so they need us. We create that energy for them. So that's where the imbalance comes from. And so a lot of women in the United States are, unfortunately, and that's what something I've worked a lot in my healing is to no longer be in my masculine energy. And not saying that I'm not always in my masculine energy, but I can see it. I catch myself now right away when it happens. It's like, oh wait, I'm going into my masculine energy, draw back, go back into the feminine energy. Now I can see it. Before I was in it, not to win it. I was in it and I was in it and I was drowning in it. And it was so bad that I made myself sick. And since I've been in Mexico, I've been working on not being in that energy anymore because I realized how much it was destroying me. And I was such in a survival mode that unfortunately it did not let me become the creator that I wanted to be. Because in order to be an entrepreneur, I'm a woman, in order to be an entrepreneur into what I wanted to do, I needed to be a creator of my story, a creator of my life. I have to create content. I have to create a website. I had to create all those things, but you have to be in a creative mindset. And you can't do that when you're in a survival mindset.
That's deep. That's real deep. And I mean, it also depends kind of like on your circumstances too. Like I was raised by a single mom. We did have like my aunt, my uncle, and my grandmother on my mother's side. So like that's the side I'm really close with. They helped to balance it all out with my mom. Like my, you know, I would go and spend summers with my grandmother and my aunt while my mom was uh in like uh the capital, really. it, it sounds so Hunger Games when I say that, but like she was on the northern side of of Trinidad, and I would stay with my grandma, you know, because obviously school was out and everything. And I saw that in my mom. My mom had to be both my dad and my mom. And then I also was like, okay, well, my mom is killing it doing this and she's killing it doing that. So I've also adopted that as well. Same thing that you're saying, you know, I can, if something's wrong with my AC, I can quickly go and figure that out and boom, AC's running, we're good to go. There's cold air going. I pick up tips and tricks all the time from all the tradesmen that come in and help me. They're like, "Oh, well, you need to do this, this and this and this." And I'm like, "Sweet. Note that. Don't have to call you for anything in the future." And I think it's also one of those things where you're trying to be as self-sufficient as possible. And especially in these days, a lot of people don't know where their next penny might be coming from, or they're living paycheck to paycheck and they're like, "Well, if I could figure this out by myself, that's an additional $100, $200 that I don't have to pay somebody else to take care of." So I think it it is how we were raised, the foundations that were laid for us, the um what's the word that I'm looking for here? It's like these different energies that we've taken on, and it's just kind of like built us, and that's why certain people are the way they are today, as opposed to like how your experience when you were growing up is different. My experience was different as well growing up, and so on and so forth. And there's such disconnect because your way wasn't like my way, and all of a sudden we can't see eye to eye. We can't sit down and have a conversation anymore.
For me, I was raised the same way. I mean, I was raised I had no man growing up. Never. I didn't have a man growing up. I didn't know any of my grandfathers. My father wasn't around. I lived in a house full of women that were lesbians. So I grew up with women, and you know, my aunt was the provider. She was the man, right? She was the masculine man, the lesbian one, right? And I was like, okay. And she had her own business. So I know what it's like to be a business entrepreneur because I watched her struggle, but then I also watched her win a lot. So there was this win and then the struggle and then this win and then this roller coaster of up and down. And so I think that also that scarcity mindset of like saying like, well, if I'm winning today and I'm losing tomorrow, then what's the point of being an entrepreneur? What's the point of being a business owner? I don't want to go through what she went through, right? So like there's scarcity in the mindset, right? Where it's like, oh, I don't want to deal with this shit. Like, I'm just gonna go back to work and work a 9 to 5 and be todo bien. Like, I don't care. So there is that too. So I get what you're saying, like having the woman around and knowing how to do all these things. It makes sense because there's curiosity too. It's like, oh, like that's how I got into IT. That, I noticed like every time the company I was working for the traveling agency, and every time we called the IT guy over, I was watching over his shoulder what he was doing. I was like, oh, so what does that do? What is that? And I realized I was like, shit, I'm actually interested in computers and IT. I was like, let's study this. And so I went to school for IT. And next thing you know, I'm in there for nearly 10 years. So my curiosity got me there, right? And now I'm out of it. But now, thanks to what I learned in IT and digital marketing, I'm able to apply that into my business and to my business that I was scared because I watched my aunt go through it. Going back to a little bit of what you're saying about your mom and watching her in the Capitol, which sounds very much like the Hunger Game. Yeah, it comes from our upbringing. It comes from the place of the imprints from other people. Like I think maybe that's the word. I don't know if that was the word you were looking for, but like
That's it.
that's the word, right? Where like you're taking on, I think we're all born pure, right? Like essentially. And then as we are few weeks old, few months old, we start getting imprints, we start getting energy colors from different people. And I think that like what happens is that over time it taints us to be into not us because we are wearing different hats, we're wearing different veils. Your mom said this, your dad said that, your grandpa said this, your aunt, your sister. So you're basing your opinion or you're basing your thoughts or your logic to what these people are telling you because they are the parents, because you're too young to understand. So you just listen to what they say because they know best. So you're doing that. And so when you become an adult, you already have like those patterns where you're like, oh well, doing a business is hard, or no, I'm just, like doing those. And so you never go for that. You never go for what that inner child wanted. And then we bury that noise, which is our intuition, the intuition and the inner child. We bury those noises down, and then we don't go for what we want. And then we live our whole entire lives by what other people view you as because of their beliefs and their patterns and their things have now imbibed in you. And then you don't live for yourself, and you're living on this job that you fucking hate. You're living on this paycheck that's not enough. You're not happy. You're living on survival. You're living on junk food. You're in a relationship that it's working, maybe, maybe not. And so there's all those things that are coming, and you're like, is this life? Did I literally was I I'm a miracle child. I was born from a mother and a father. Regardless of the circumstances, I don't care. You were born. Out of a million sperms, you made it. Right? Let's honor that for a fucking second, right? And be like, wow, like I was born. Okay? Granted, the circumstances of your parents and all that, and I can talk because my parents, that's a whole other story. We're not gonna go there today. Did I really come to earth to pay bills every day, be in a miserable thing? Is this what life, human experience is supposed to be like? Realistically, is this what it is? Because I didn't sign up for this shit.
You
Apparently,
and I both didn't sign up for this.
I
We're
know.
both saying that.
Like, I mean, obviously we did because our soul contracts did, and like we signed up for this, and we're like, okay. But now that I'm working more on myself and I'm working more on the stuff, I can realize what my true mission is. I can get closer to what my mission is, and I can see my vision better and be like, I know what I'm here for. I'm not here to just fucking pay bills because that's not what I'm signing up for.
We all have to go through the trials and tribulations to
Oh,
come out on
absolutely.
the end. Oh yeah, 100%.
What is it, the gift that you are so fucking good at? Like you've mastered this shit so much that that could become your business, that could become you. And this is something that you can talk about for years and still be okay with it. What is the thing that you can be like, wow?
I think it's always just come up all the time, and I think it's it stems from me just being a people person. So my thing is always about love and caring for one another, like showing empathy. Like that's something I could talk till I'm blue in the face, being able just to be of service for people. I enjoy doing that. Like just case in point, my 9 to 5, right? We're gonna start being hybrid pretty soon. And I'm not really looking forward to it. I do like working in my own space, working at my own pace, and I don't have like all these other noises around me, so I'm able to like concentrate. Um and so I'm in this new department now, and every time I get somebody that I mentored in like our mentoring program and everything, every time I get a call transferred and it's one of my old mentees, they're like, "Oh my god, Kiki, I haven't heard from you in like forever, and I'm so excited for the office to be opening up." And I'm over here like, I really don't want to go into office, but every time they call or they get transferred over to me, they're like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited." And I'm like, "All right, I guess I'll get a little excited because it's not like I don't love them. It's not that I don't want to help anybody, but I just, now I've become a creature of my own nature kind of situation. I've liked the bubble I've been living in, and I do like to be of service. I like to bring people together. I like to make sure that people are validated and they are heard and they know that they are loved. So I think me having community, showing empathy, and showing that regardless of what side of the world you might have come from, uh, what your childhood might have been, what trials and tribulations you might have gone through, we are all here to, we are loved, we will be loved. And every time I go back, if I do a story on Instagram, if I make a post on Instagram, if when we're talking here, my whole everything that I want to do, everything that I want to bring to the table is always about love. So that's me. I could talk that, like I said, could talk about it till I'm blue in the face. That's what makes me happy. Bringing people together, making sure that they know that they are loved, making sure that they know that they are cared for and that they have a sense of community and they have a shoulder to lean on, because we are all in this shit show together. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here about.
Question to you is, do you love yourself enough? Because who is giving that love back to you besides you? Are you giving yourself back love? Because that is so important, because that's a trauma response. When you give love to other people, are you loving yourself?
Exactly. No, yeah, yeah. And I have been on that self-discovery journey for quite some time. Uh I have high days, I have low days like everybody else, but I always try to remember, yes, there are people who are around me that love me and that care for me and that take care of me. But I also have to remember to take care of myself, because there are certain things that people just can't do for you. And we've said this countless times, whether it's been on this podcast or just us like having conversations. If you don't take care of yourself, you cannot give from an empty cup. We say this all the time. You cannot give from an empty cup. If you are feeling overwhelmed, burnt out, depressed, you cannot. We always keep pushing ourselves because we're like, oh, we had signed up for this and we had signed up for that. And like, I have a friend and she's like, oh, I have to do this today and that today. And then I'm working the next day. And I'm like, okay, so did you take any time for yourself? Well, but I'm so burnt out. I'm so tired, Kiki. I don't know what to do. How about you say no? How about you say no? How about you stop people pleasing and saying, oh, me. I'm going to help with this. I'm going to help with that. But then you're not taking time for yourself. So now you're complete, your energy is depleted, and you are completely drained, and you're burnt out, you're overwhelmed, you're sleeping, you're not performing at 100% anymore. Really and truly, everything that you're giving yourself to, you're not even giving 100% of yourself, because you've said yes to everything. And you can't be people pleasing all the time. People pleasing is exhausting. The amount of times I tell people no, now that I've really gotten to know myself, and let me take that back. I don't think anybody truly knows themselves, because we're always evolving. Something else is always happening. So I'm at that point where I'm very comfortable with myself. Like yesterday, I've always had body dysmorphia for my entire existence. And And yesterday I was at the pool and I was like, I don't care. This is me. This is me on my journey. This is me in my swimwear. The kids were there. We were chilling. We were having a great time. Nobody cared about what another person looked like. There had women at that pool that had all different body shapes, all different sizes. Everybody was beautiful in their colorful attire, having a great time, having drinks, eating, sharing stories with each other, growing their bond together. And I was like, this is beautiful. And I know I probably don't have any I definitely don't have any pictures to share. But that's also because it wasn't one of those situations where I was like, oh no, I want to hide my body. I couldn't care less yesterday. I could not care less yesterday. That was mostly about just being in the moment and also being around water. Didn't want my phone around there. So yeah. That was really about it. But yes, I do give to myself in order so that I can give back to others. To answer your question, that was long-winded, but that's to answer your question.
I like that you said that. And so that's funny that it happened to you yesterday, and then it happened to me yesterday. There is some energy working. uh,
Always, always.
oh, of course. So yeah, that's just kind of like, I love how the conversation started from like almost like an angry, or not really angry, but like it started from like how the world is fucked up to like how we went to like pure love. That message was like, so did you notice that?
Oh yeah, it always transmutes into it. Anytime we're talking about something, it always flows into the fact that, listen, we need to come from a place of love. Like, yeah, we're having a heated conversation. We are not having an argument. We are having a heated conversation because we're very passionate about how we feel about things. And then it always trickles back into but this is how you find your way to loving yourself and to being positive and to planting the seed and to, building that community and allowing people to be themselves. That's what it's about. That's what this whole thing is about.
And did you notice that like how like emotions, if you think about the word emotions for a second, right? So you have emotion, motions, right? But E stands for the energy that's in motion. So
Ooh.
when you think about that like that, because you were talking about feelings, your feelings or your emotions, right? Again, that's a programming. So
It is.
how is right? Like how is the energy feeling out of that emotion that you're feeling, out of that energy motion, that it's an energy that's in motion? How are you feeling? How is that aura feeling at that point? Isn't that crazy when you peel that thing back and you're like, okay, this is wild.
And we could dive into that even deeper, but
Do we want to?
oh, we're gonna wrap it up and just say thank you for joining us on this one. It's been real, it's been fun. As always, stay weird.
Stay wild. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.